Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly market outlook class, where we try to spot tradable market opportunities for the week. To begin, we are going to be looking at the forex factory and just review some key fundamental news or reports that we can expect for the week. Okay, so as you can see, today being Monday, the 3rd of April. So today we don't have much news. But we will be having quite a lot of news this week because we're in the first trading week of the month. All right, so there are usually some high impact news, like the average hourly earning, the non-farm, basically unemployment rates, and those very key information. So you can see today we had there's the news from the CHF, that's the Swiss franc, the CPI report. That is going to be out by 2:30. That was actually out already by 7:30 a.m. And then by 2:30, 3 p.m., we're going to be having the PMI ISM manufacturing index. And then tomorrow, there'll be the official bank rate statement from the Reserve Bank of Australia. And I'm expecting this to stay come out as expected, so 3.85. Now, we expect the Reserve Bank of Australia to increase rates. It's previously 3.6. I'll probably raise the rates to 3.85 because the economy has been steadily expanding. So probably expect that to come out that way. And then NZD, we're also expecting the official cash rates. Also expecting a rate hike here to 5.0. Okay, sorry about that. So we're talking about the fundamental news, and we said we're expecting a rate hike from the Australia and also a rate hike from the NZD. Now, the NZD is expected to go up to 5.0. The New Zealand, it's one of the major currencies that has the highest interest rates, cash rates. They were one of the first to raise rates after the COVID, and we're still expecting further rate hike from them, okay? So that news, and then on Thursday, we'll be looking at the unemployment numbers from Canada, and then on Friday, we'll look at the unemployment numbers from the US. So not so many news, but some significant news to keep in mind. So let's jump straight to our chart and look at what we will trade. Now, I did get involved in a quite good trade early this morning from here. It was, basically it was pre-confirmation. That means I did not exactly with my exact confirmation, but it was a good trade because of the setup. Now, you notice what happened. Remember, we've been bullish on this, right? So we've been bullish on this. So let me go to the daily chart here so you see this better. So you'd see that is EURUSD. We've been bullish on this from down here, and our expectation is for price to come up to this point. So all through this area, all we've been looking for are buying opportunities. And we've gotten some very good trades with the final target still being all this way here. So essentially, I've been looking for buying opportunities all the way up, and we got in some buys. I think some of my positions from last week, the markets, this spike down here came down and liquidated those positions at a profit, obviously, but I'm still looking to get back into this market if I find a good trade setup. So I'm still looking for buys on this one, still targeting these highs. Now, the question is, how might you look to play that out? Now, if you drop down to the 15-minute time frame, here's what you begin to see. So notice that we are breaking out. So we're broken out. So here's what I'm talking about here. Notice how price started making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So price has been bearish, and then basically bearish all this way, and then we have this push and this pullback, and then we have this break. So notice how we have broken the structure. Instead of putting lower lows and lower highs, we have now made a higher high. So, and since this is the direction, bullishness is the direction of the overall market, daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, the market is bullish, and this is even more interesting. So I'm sure most of you were not able to get involved here. Even my trade that I got involved here was in a very, very small risk because I needed to see this break, or I got involved for a different reason entirely. Now, with this break here, this is good news for EURUSD bulls, because we can expect that price is going to start targeting these highs. All these highs here are soon to become liquidity targets. Now, how might you look to trade this? I wouldn't advise buying at this point because, well, you know, the downside to the upside potential doesn't make sense. What you might want to do is wait for a pullback. So wait for a pullback around, you know, this sort of zone like this, and then look for buying opportunity. Now, how could you possibly, or what could you possibly be looking out for there? Now, here is one way I might be looking to play this. So I like, there's certain areas that I kind of like the idea of coming back to or watching for buy opportunities. Obviously, if you just draw your fib from here, basically from this low to this high, that's if this is the high the market wants to use. You know, you could see that we have the 50.0, the 61.8, and the 78.6 lined up around this area here. Now, I don't necessarily expect price to come down too deep, but we could have those deep retracements, you know, anywhere within this red zone here. Basically, let me even extend that a little bit. Anywhere within this red box here is actually quite a reasonable area to watch, but this area is too big, right? So basically, you might want to do it in blocks of code. So, you know, that area is good. And this area like so is also interesting. So if price drops down, right? If the market finds its way back down here, watch for confirmation within this area. If you find confirmation, you can use that as a reason to buy. The confirmation might occur something like this. Use that as a reason to buy, keep your stop loss just below the structure that you used to confirm and target those daily highs. Now, obviously, you would definitely be looking to take partials as price move your way, but that's a way to look at this. Another option is if price drops down and gets here, maybe something like this. If we find confirmation, then you could use that as a reason to buy as well. Where will you be targeting? Targeting the same daily highs in the market. Okay, so I'm looking for buys on this. I like this break, right? So you see this break of structure on this time frame here. I quite like that because it shows intent from the buyers, and the fact that that break is, you know, it confirms the bullishness, right? It confirms the what do you call it? It confirms the, it follows in line with the overall structure, right? Now, on the 1 hour time frame here, somebody might look at this and say, okay, we have a breakdown, right? And yeah, you'll be correct. But why I'm not really paying attention to that is because the overall time frame, the overall structure of this on the higher time frame is bullish. So I'm paying attention more to that because, you know, even though we have this breakdown, that doesn't necessarily mean that we'll come back to some of these other blocks and then probably sell off from there. What we're likely going to see is for price to make some sort of engineered area for which people will be interested in selling from, to then clear those areas as, you know, basically as target liquidity, because people will be looking to sell this, not paying attention to the fact that the overall structure is bullish. Now, sure, the markets could very well, you know, drop from here. That's a possibility, but I like to trade in the direction of the trend, and we have clear breaks that I like. So I'm interested in looking for buying opportunity or more buying opportunity to take this one higher. We have a similar outlook of this nature on gold. So if we go to XAUUSD here, so XAUUSD, like so, you'd notice that, so yeah, I had this trade that ended up coming back to break even. I took out partials and market came down and hit my break even. Still made some profit even though the market flips down. Same thing here. Look at this. The overall structure, now this is the 1 hour time frame, right? But let's look at the 4 hours here. And let's try and trace out what price is doing. Now, if you look at this, let me remove this. So if you look at this, we have this break up, we have a pullback, we have a break up, pullback. So clearly you can see that all this market has been doing has been bearish. Price has not really made a lower low. This is a higher low, this is a higher low, this is a higher low, and this is a higher low. And this low came from this high. So we have not taken out this high yet, but we have also not taken out this low. So we're still bullish, and chances are price is going to come up to take out this high similar to what we had or what we are looking for in Euro USD. So essentially, just like Euro USD, I'm also bullish on this one. Now, if we drop down to the 15-minute time frame here, like so, you'd see the same, almost a similar structure like we had on EU, right? So you see, we had that break above structure. Now, in this one, there are quite some interesting areas, you know, some leftover order blocks, like so, that price could very well be looking to come down to. So I will be interested in looking for buys around this region, something like this. Now, I'm going to want to see confirmation. Now, there's no guarantee price will come back down there, but I like to look for buying opportunities around this red zone. If price drops down here, let's see if we can start targeting some of these highs. Now, there is no guarantee we'll get back down there, because if this price continues to drift, we might end up just coming back down somewhere like this. That would be the outlook, because you could see we are now beginning to make higher highs or higher lows and higher highs and higher lows, and you could see our current higher high. So right now, what we're looking for is for price to make a new higher low, for us to then look at that to take it to a new high, and then higher low and take it to a new high. So we're looking for the pullbacks to buy, because we understand that the overall structure of this market is facing the upside. Okay, so Euro USD, XAU USD, like the idea of looking for buys or looking for longs on those ones. So let's quickly go over to let's look at the Aussie yen. We were looking at that last week. So let's look at the Aussie yen. And here you'd see that the Aussie yen is not following through with this break, break of head and shoulders neckline. But this doesn't necessarily mean that price is bullish, right? Because if you look at this, you know, price has been making, if you just try and trace the market movement, it's been bearish. It's been breaking lows and breaking lows. So unless price comes up and take out this high, right? Unless we see a breakout of this high, then there is a good chance market may just find its basically resistance and then take out the low, right? So for me now, it's just a patient game, especially as we're heading into the week, right? What you want to do is just watch patiently as price drifts higher, right? If we find our way up, start looking for confirmation. Now, don't just trade because the market might be interested in taking, you know, making breaks to the upside. But what you want to do is watch for confirmation, watch to see if we get any confirmation to sell around this region, right? This is the daily chart. So any confirmation to sell around this region could be, could offer us good potential, right? It could offer us quite a good potential for selling. So let me zoom in a little bit, right? If you, let's just take this box, dig it up here. Price could very well be reaching out for these highs, right? Maybe we come up to this area and then we look for opportunities to sell. So within here, I would want to be looking for confirmation to sell to try and take this lower. So AUDJPY, I'm not trying to force buys on this one. I'll just wait to see if I can get opportunity to sell. If the market doesn't respect this area and we just break past this high, then I'm no longer looking for selling opportunities. I'll flip to looking for buying opportunity on the reverse. You understand? So this is a very important point. We're looking for sales as long as price does not close above this high. If price closes above this high, right, and then begins to come back down, I'm not going to try and sell it. Instead, I'll be looking for buys to take it higher, right? But for now, I am looking for opportunities to sell within this red region here. Okay. So that's what you call it. That's AUDJPY. Let's look at USD yen as well. Okay, so USD yen. Remember, I spoke about this one, I think, last week, the last 2 weeks, and I said we're likely going to, at least based on the fact that this market is bearish, most likely we want to see price wants to find its way down here. So that's this is quite good, especially because we're looking for a weak dollar, right? We're anticipating a weakened dollar. If you look at the DXY here, you'd see that the DXY has been bearish. So we're expecting the dollar to probably continue to give up some of its gains. And so looking at the USD/JPY here, or UJ, the setup is looking quite promising. Remember, we're looking for opportunities to sell. Now, the best times to look for sales are when the market is retracing within a bearish market. So we're having this bullish retracement within a bearish market, and that's pretty much what we saw here. Now, if we drop down to the 4-hour chart here, you'd see basically you would notice this. So let's do this. You'd see basically the trend the market is taking. Now, if we break below this trend line, right? If we have a break below that trend line, now I don't necessarily treat trend line, but the reason why I'm looking at this is because a break below that trend line would also tally with a break below this low. So if we break below that trend line, we could find a selling opportunity on the retest of that area to take this lower. Remember, our target would be the daily lows. So this would have some room to run, and then possibly some room for good opportunities in this one. So USD/JPY looks actually quite promising, a little bit more promising than EURUSD, in my opinion. You know, if you can find a good trade setup within this, let's say on the smaller time frame, you can look for opportunity on the smaller time frame, or you can wait for a break of the trend, a break of this low here. Right? You don't necessarily need to wait for a break of the trend line, you know, because trend lines are, well, they don't necessarily work that way, but a break of this low here could be, you know, would be very, very important for price to continue to go down even further. So keep that in mind as you're looking for opportunities to sell. Remember, we're looking for opportunities to sell on this one, except, you know, you can also go down to the smaller time frame and look for opportunity, but I don't find any actually here. So I guess waiting for the break of this low will be, you know, kind of makes sense, because then that will be a good trade setup. Now, you can still look at this low. So this is the 15-minute time frame. So this low too might be interesting if you're looking to get in early on this one. Remember to always use proper risk management and ensure you use your, you know, you take trades that meets your trading criteria. So if you break below, we pull back, you know, you could look for opportunities to sell and target this lows. And then maybe if we pull back, you might get another opportunity to sell and just keep targeting those lows. Okay. So USD/JPY, looking for sell opportunity on that. AUDJPY, patiently waiting for price to get its sell zone for me, and then look to sell. And then EURUSD, we're looking for buys. XEUUSD, we're looking for buys in that as well. Okay, so let's quickly look at EURCAD. So we're looking at EURCAD last week. Let's see what that has done and if price has reached into our area. So I think it has. So let's look at this on the daily charts. So you can see here, right? So this is the area we're looking out from. Also, you can see our arrow. I think we're looking at this. When I asked for one of the trades best to look for, you sent out this, and we were looking at this red zone here to look for buying opportunity, and price is within this red zone. Now you can see what it's doing. Although the candle has not closed, so this is a daily chart, but you can see we appear to be having rejection, strong rejection from this area here. So I think that is not a bad trade setup to look for. So if we go up to the 15-minute chart here, you'll notice that we are beginning to have a bullish break. You can see we're breaking highs, right? We're making higher highs. So before now, see how price has been making lower lows, right? So you can see this is high to low, to lower high, to lower low, to lower high, to lower low, to lower high. So basically, price is making lower lows and lower highs, and lower lows and lower highs and lower lows. And then we got into our area, we went a little bit below it, and then price made a low, a high, right? Made a higher low, and now we made a higher high, and we're preparing to make a higher low. So actually, from current price level here, you could potentially look to trade this, right? So now remember, this is not financial advice. Or trading carries a high level of risk, so you want to ensure that you're trading based on what you agree with, not necessarily what anybody tells you to. That's just disclaimer, quick disclaimer. But if we're simply tracing price, right? So low to high, to lower low, sorry, to higher low, to higher high, to higher low, and now a higher high. So ideally, you know, at least within this time frame, price may not want to go below this low, right? So if you are interested, you could, remember, you could look for opportunities to buy this thing. Now, what I would advise, what I could advise is, since we're looking at the 15-minute time frame, wait for this candle. So wait for this candle to close. And if this candle closes, let's say like the way it is now or higher, then you can look to get involved in that buy trade, right? Let's say the candle closes as it is, right? So if the candle closes as it is now, you can look to get involved in the trade. At that point, you keep your stop loss just below this low. The reason we're keeping our stop loss below this low here is because if we are tracing price, this is the structure, right? So this is the structure. And so let me draw that properly. Right? So ideally, price should not want to come down below this low, right? So at the close of that candle, you could look for a buy opportunity, buy there where at the close of the candle, and then put your stop loss just below this low here. And then you could then remember our overall target on this one, right? Remember what we're looking for. We're looking for this highs to be cleared because we're in a bullish market, right? So this high is up here. Right? Now, remember, this is a long way, right? This is risk to reward ratio is about 1:23. So don't be greedy and try and hold it on. If the market begins to move your way, take partial profits, move your stop loss to break even, and let the rest run. Okay, so nice setup forming on this one. Actually, we've closed. The candle has closed, so you can actually look to take this one from that area. And remember, this is your risk, your responsibility. But in terms of risk to reward ratio, even if you're just going after a small high, it's easy to, let's say, it's easy to get into positive RR. So even this highs here, or some of these highs, will give you a good outlook. So nice trade setup for me on this one. You could look to take that if you wish. Okay, so those are some of the pairs I wanted to show. Remember, I don't talk about so much instrument on this particular class. I tend to do that on the cutting edge class. Those ones, that's for funded clients. So make sure you join me in the class for Tuesday and Wednesday, where we look at for tradable market opportunities, live classes, just like we just did here now on EURCAD. We would be looking for something like for trades on almost all the instruments as much as our time permits. Okay, so it's a pleasure to have you on the class today. I hope you enjoyed the class. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. And then I'll be uploading this. If you're watching this on the YouTube, leave a like and a comment if you wish. And then if you're watching this live, also feel free to let me know what you think as well.